Welcome to Bonehead. Chad.
Are we recording?
So, we're recording. Can I tell you two key elements to recording a somewhat entertaining podcast?
Well, whatever
Not
it is,
what we
we're
do?
missing one.
No, so those two key elements are no sleep and booze.
You think so?
No, not at all.
No.
So this is going to be interesting.
So what we're doing here, Chad, you want to explain it? This is your idea.
Yeah, hold on.
For the people listening. Oh, I could do that too. Oh, can somebody come twist this off? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll get a 6-foot
I don't
pole.
want to be left out. Let me.
So, James has got mouthwash people
James
who
has
are
got
listening to the
isopropyl.
podcast.
I told him the other night.
Well, I haven't been out. I've been sheltering in place, like you do.
I can't get the good.
I can't.
I can't
So, and to be honest, I had a little bit of Fireball left over, but
I had a bucket full. There's a bucket full of those shots of Fireball in my.
So I'll be enjoying nothing but the finest Equate antiseptic mouthwash. Let's get this.
So what we're doing?
Drinking Basil Hayden.
We don't actually have a scheduled topic to discuss with you all today. Just to give us our ideas of movies we recommend. So James is currently pouring mouthwash into a coffee cup. Oh my God. Anyway,
Pinky's up.
It's funny. I told him to drink isopropyl the other day when we were texting because he said he didn't have any booze.
Yeah, I said, and I replied back NyQuil and Listerine chasers. Yeah.
There he goes. He switched.
So,
yeah. I think that was a Texas switch.
Yeah, I think it was too. But anyway, so.
Oh God.
So what's your idea, Chad?
I came up with the idea of, hey guys, why don't we start drinking at the start of an episode? Just talk about what's on our minds and see how it goes. So welcome to the journey, Bonehead listeners. This is going to be interesting, if not completely stupid.
Well, it's going to be stupid. That's our MO.
Now, I want to talk about what I'm going to do first for my drink. I have my Four Roses bourbon right here. But
I'm drinking Basil Hayden's for the people. Basil Hayden for people not watching. I'm Basil Hayden, Knob Creek, and Woodford are kind of my go-to. It's getting to more be with Basil and Knob though.
Never had it.
I love the Knob.
But I do want to try it. I wanted to wait till the podcast to do it. If you're not familiar with the history of sodas, Mountain Dew was actually originally created as a mixer with whiskey and bourbon. So I've actually never tried Mountain Dew and bourbon together. So I was like, this is the perfect time to try it. So my first drink is going to be a combination of bourbon and Mountain Dew.
Well, a few years ago, our friend Craig Dennis, who's an idiot, and not because of the bourbon, it's just because he's over there drinking that Listerine trying to get that COVID out of him.
By the way, did anybody disagree with your statement about that?
No, just wanted to defend him. And let's be honest, he is a good supporter of the show. God bless him. And he's a dear friend, fucker. And he's the one that introduced Diet Sprite to us in Crown. Which,
oh my God,
it's really good.
It's really good. So,
Diet
Who
Sprite.
was it Craig or was it Keith? I won't name Keith's last name due to legal purposes.
That'll get us.
But was it which one of them did Dr. Pepper and Fireball first? Because that's good too.
I thought that was you.
No, I got it off somebody. I'm not that.
Oh,
I'm not enough of an alcoholic to know these things.
I thought it was you.
All right, so here goes a shot of bourbon and Mountain Dew.
Can I just tell you, it looks like you're drinking that shit from Reanimator.
It really does.
It'll reanimate you.
Oddly enough, taste the bourbon. Don't taste the Mountain Dew.
But it's Diet Mountain Dew too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if it won't dissolve a quarter, Chad, it don't care.
So, James just froze a little bit.
That's actually on my face.
No, that's.
Oh.
We're off to a wonderful start.
Well, hey,
ever since I had that stroke.
Okay, so I bought this more expensive webcam. Remember, especially when James was like, "Fuck you, I'm going to Mississippi." Remember that whole story?
Yeah, and then he moved to Colorado.
Right, and then Haley's like, "Fuck this, I'm out," because James went to Mississippi. And
he was wise to desert us.
I have noticed that the clarity of and I don't want to talk about work, and by the way, I'm still working. Woohoo! That being said, the clarity of my webcam is slightly better than some others, as you may, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't until today that somebody said, Why the fuck is your webcam so much better than everybody else's? Just thought it was funny.
By the way, I'm not using my webcam. This is actually the little doodad on my computer.
Oh, no, we totally couldn't tell.
I know.
We could tell.
Yeah, I know. You want me to set up the other one? I can. It takes me just minutes. Right here.
I got
what webcam do you use? I like your microphone, or at least I like how it looks. What webcam do you use, Chad?
Oh, it's just my laptop.
Okay, I was about to say it's not as clear.
No, yeah, my webcam is somewhere else that I can't access because of the pandemic. So I had to do with what I had. So yeah, I am currently.
It's not like you're over technology and training or anything. No.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No.
So I do got a topic I want to talk about.
Fuck you.
And Joe is going to love this. I don't know if you, and I didn't realize this until I was going to bring it up. So I didn't realize it's a time travel topic. But when we actually did our time travel episodes, we were actually intoxicated then as well.
Were we?
Yep.
Why is Jay?
I don't know.
An earthquake over there in his?
If you don't,
It's my other camera.
Just to refresh Joe's memory, we did a time travel episode while we were drinking for our Halloween party, and James was eating a box full of Grippos, and Joe, for a podcast, was scraping a knife on a table because he was drunk.
Yeah.
Anyway,
with you, I don't remember that exactly. I remember the box of Grippos.
Yeah, I know you do.
Priorities. I'm going back to my other camera.
God bless not Trader Joe's. What's the other one? What's the one in Cincinnati?
Trader Vic's.
Trader
He
Vic's.
hung a lot of vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Werewolves.
Werewolves.
James, do you have a Roku?
No.
Yes, it died yesterday.
Yours died? Oh, sorry about that.
Well,
so anyway,
Fire Stick works like a champ. To me, I recommend the Fire Stick. But keep going.
So the Roku, if you have a Roku, you actually have the option to have the Roku channel, which is a free streaming service. So I checked that out this week. Guess what's on the Roku channel? All seasons to stream.
No,
Joe's favorite show from the early 90s, Time Tracks.
Hey, speaking of time tracks, is that where you were going with this time travel thing?
Oh, yeah, because I want to talk about it.
I thought you were going to talk about Bob Gale.
No.
It got where all the stars are at home tweeting the perfect movies.
Oh, yeah, and
they got an argument about no, Back to the Future is not perfect. Why can't they remember why?
Yeah.
That their son looks like Calvin Klein.
Yeah, I mean, yep, I saw that, and he replied back, well, how do you remember somebody that you met for what, like a week?
Yeah, a week, 20 years ago.
And that's completely true. I can't even remember somebody I hung out with in high school for 3 years.
And I can't remember that we do. I remember our shows, but I don't remember our shows. Like, no, I have a show.
So if you're a frequent listener, Joe, huge Del Mitkiff fan.
Oh God. Okay, that leads me to conversation. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
I thought I'd rewatch. I did the review for I can't remember, for Scarefest a couple of weeks ago.
Pet Cemetery?
No, I didn't review it. I saw it in the theater.
I don't want to be buried.
And I got Epics, which is a channel with movies in a pet cemetery. You don't want to live your life again, James.
No, once is enough. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this time alive. 8
is enough. Anyway, Del Mitkiff is in the original Pet Cemetery. I watched the Pet Cemetery, the remake or re-envisioning or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah. I liked the twist in it, but they gave it away in the trailer, ruined the movie. And part of them, honestly, the acting's much better, but the other movie is a better made movie. Does that make sense, y'all?
Visually and everything. I haven't seen the new one.
Well, you should. It's not bad.
I'm totally going to. I just haven't had time.
It's really not bad. The problem is that the other one is much more visceral. It's just a better. Mary Lambert, who directed the first one,
right,
never got back there again.
Oh.
I've seen her other stuff. She never got, even with Pet Cemetery,
she
never got back there again. I don't know what happened. She never got back there again.
That whole scene with the sister still freaks me out to this day.
They don't even get close to it. But the problem was when Mary Lambert's film, one of the problems for me is that their acting is terrible from the two main leads. And they have such a better cast in the remake. Yeah. But it's not a good movie. It's just not as well made. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah,
and it's even more at home. It's even more of nothing. It just doesn't grab you like the original Pet Cemetery.
No. So and honestly, finding Time Tracks on the Roku channel, I was just compelled to watch it because, you know,
Good.
back in hold on, I'm getting there. Back in 1993, you know, when I had 3 channels and 1 o'clock on a Saturday, there's literally nothing to watch. Hey, Time Tracks is on. And I thought it was like one of the best shows ever. And if you're not familiar with Time Tracks, it is basically the same concept as Time Cop. There's criminals who go back in time to take over history using the technology and enhanced skills that they have, because apparently 200 years in the future, everybody becomes super powered.
Hey.
Yeah.
Was that from the Action Pack?
That was from the Action Network, yes.
Okay. I think we discussed that. We did.
Yeah. It came on, it aired simultaneously, I believe, with Hercules and Time Tracks. Go ahead, James.
I don't mean to interject, but it turns out that you can totally activate acid reflux by taking a shot of Listerine. I don't know if anybody needs to know that.
That wasn't Listerine. That was Equate.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to besmirch.
Oh, hold on.
I
dropped some bourbon on the table. 1 second.
Are you going to get that bourbon?
I only saw him go down like that one time before.
So I do have, my wife reminded me.
And Dale Mitchell was there.
She had some good friends deliver something to her. So I do have one thing that I can enjoy that's not based on
Big Jim Slade.
That's not based on Equate. I have a Kentucky Sunrise from Pivot.
Oh, nice.
So,
is that good? What is it?
It's hard cider. I actually like it. It's light. It's crisp. It's refreshing.
I'm now on my second drink.
Yeah, I'm not. I've been to that hard cider bar and did the Around the World or whatever it was down at the distillery gentrification district, and I don't know. I've not found a hard cider
which leads directly. I don't mean to derail the Dale Midkiff, but since Joe brought it up, it leads directly into the fact that he just alluded to All Around the World by the band ATC.
Hey, guys, did you all remember a movie? Speaking of, so I have to do these reviews.
I am going to get onto my Time Tracks points in a minute. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I thought
No, go. No, I'm not. I am nowhere near done with Time Tracks.
Okay.
He has a 14-page dossier.
It's hard. It was hard for me. I appreciate them letting me do it. I like doing it, but it was hard even before COVID, right? Before everything was shut down, for me to get a movie in a week, specifically horror. If it was just any movie, then it would be easier. And they gave me a lot of leeway, just enough rope to hang myself. But it was hard then. Now it's getting, just because there's some shit I just don't want to watch. It just looks so bad.
Yeah.
And there's nothing new coming out. But when we're getting a lot of these free previews on the cable, so I'll just DVR things like Stars and whatnot. Did anybody remember Escape Room? It came out last year.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
It's not bad. It's not great. It's got Tucker and Dale. Not Tucker and Dale, but which one's Dale and which one's Tucker?
It's got Taylor Labine.
Taylor Labine's in it, and he's good. And that redhead, that smoking hot redhead from the Marvel shows, from Daredevil. She was also in
True Blood.
True Blood.
Oh, yeah. I'm forgetting. I know who you're talking about, and I can't believe I'm blanking on her name.
I shouldn't say she's a good actress, by the way. I just have a thing for redheads. Anyway, she's good in it. It's not bad. The sets are so cool. The problem is that I would have never seen it. I can barely recommend it because the last 10 minutes it tries to. Do you know Cube? You don't get a lot of explanation with Cube. Cube is an amazing movie. Not so much with Escape Room. The last 10 minutes is all explanation, and you're like, "Fuck you, that's terrible."
Yeah, just like the Belko experiment.
Yeah, well, the Belko experiment's a lot better than that.
No, I know it is. It's
Deborah Ann Wolf. That's who you're talking about. Sorry, it took me a second, but you're talking about Deborah Ann Wolf, right?
Yeah. She's a really good actress, and she's pretty.
And she's gorgeous. Yeah,
she's just a gorgeous person. But
go ahead.
Yeah, the scene, the sets. If you don't watch it for anything else, don't get me wrong. It's a 6. I expected a 2 though. Okay. So it was enjoyable. Do you understand what I mean? It was 90 minutes.
No, that's
almost 100 minutes.
And that's what I'm going to have with Time Tracks. That's what I'm experiencing with Time Tracks. Joe's froze up. He looks like he's had a stroke. Okay.
No, yes.
No, so
It's the
I got to tell
Mountain
y'all about time
Speedway.
trucks because neither one of you is ever going to watch. Can I just talk about some
Never
of
gonna
the
watch
facts that it takes? So it takes place 200 years in the future.
Yep.
I know, but it takes place 200 years in the future.
They still dress like they're from
And
the 90s.
the whole one of no, they don't, which is another humorous aspect of the show. But they change. Oh my! This show would not get made now because they actually have reverse racism in the show. So in the future, apparently whites become the minority,
Which is
like that
technically
one movie,
going to happen.
White Man's Burden.
White Man's Burden, yeah.
Yeah, with John Travolta and Harry Belafonte.
Yeah.
Harry
Damn.
No, by the way, can you tell that the alcohol's kicking in?
I say
Oh,
damn.
I
I
noticed.
say damn.
No.
I say damn.
If
So,
always
you know what?
podcast is Chad's hand looking for the microphone, it's only going to be funny to James and I because of memories.
I can't explain how funny this is. So you know what the racist terms 200 years from now for white people is?
Chalky.
No.
What?
Blanco.
Like a pen. I'm
And
a fancy pen.
And you know the other one they interchange with? A clink.
Well, no, I get where the first one comes from because Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish for white.
Yeah,
What's the logic for the second one?
They never explain it. They go, he comes in one day complaining to his, while they're in the first two episodes, which is it's a 2-hour season premiere, of course. He goes, yeah, some guy called me a clink. They never explain the actual history of the racist.
Because I mean, could it be that that white people historically have locked up more people
Really
than
quick,
anybody else? And
if you're hold on, not to interrupt, but really quick, if you are watching but not listening or listening but watching, I don't remember. I'm pouring another. Thank you, Basil.
Yeah, I've already on my second one. I need to start drinking slower because my head's starting to get a little heavy.
What's weird?
And these are my two best friends in the entire world. I know I should just kill myself now. They know that as I get drink,
As I get drink.
I get sleepy. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, by the way, really quick, let's interrupt James one more time. I'm drinking from my official Bonehead glass, you can get them etched on here from Sadie Marie Crafts, Bonehead Weekly. Order yours today from Sadie Marie Crafts.
Yeah, and Joe will send you the one cup he has.
No, Sadie will make them.
Oh, I know she'll make them, but right now we only have one cup.
No, I have 4 of them. I have 4 of them.
But the funny part about and I'm going to keep talking about
the fuck up is it's clear, so it's hard to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're saying, dickhead?
But on time tracks. The funny part about it is the fact that whites are supposed to be the minority.
Yeah.
Everybody in the cast in the future, guess what color they are?
White.
White. They have one token African American.
I got a knob creep lamp.
That's nice.
Mm.
By the way,
why don't you plug it in and stick your tongue in it?
Well, because the Maker's Mark one is plugged in over here. I've been trying to figure out the lighting for this for the last few weeks.
And you're failing miserably.
I don't know. I can see pretty well. The clarity's relatively good. I can see.
I swear, James, the other day I fucked around with it for 45 minutes.
By the way, speaking of time tracks, anybody else see the new the commercials for the new Looney Tunes that HBO is doing?
No.
Seriously, y'all haven't seen the commercials?
No. Is it HBO Max?
Yeah, it's going to be on HBO Max.
No, I didn't even know they were doing one.
Yeah,
they went back.
Big mass appeals is they're bringing Looney Tunes back for HBO Max.
They went back and I'm doing this because it's a scene in the commercial.
And James is for some reason tickling the palm. He's using his left hand
exactly
to tickle the palm of the right hand.
It's in the commercial. Bugs does it to Yosemite Sam. What's interesting about it is they went back and if you're a big fan of Looney Tunes, I was hoping y'all had seen it. But Bugs Bunny evolves over time. Like originally he had yellow gloves and all that stuff. They still use that. So sometimes he's drawn like the early period. Sometimes he's drawn. So the commercials were fascinating, and it looks like they actually have the tone correct.
Have you guys been out to see anything lately?
Earlier today, I walked my dog, and it's true story. Dog got about halfway up the block and pooped. And I saw that. That's what I saw. And I picked that up because I'm a good citizen and I obey ordinances.
Good.
But that's what I saw. That's what I've seen in the last week, Joe.
Good.
I don't leave the house except to walk the dog.
But you know, one of the other
I picked up my kid's
stupid
shit.
parts of time tracks.
Yeah.
So when he decides to go back into the past,
Is this the second season?
no, this is still the
Spoilers,
first.
Chad.
This is only the first episode, gentlemen. Jesus Christ,
previous
catch up.
episodes where we're making fun of the second season. I think the second season
Oh, I
of Time
forgot.
Tracks was a complete
Wow.
letdown, Chad.
By the way, there's only 2 seasons. I thought there was more.
What?
Joe just
Neil
mouthed
Mitkiff
what?
was busy.
And Mia Sarah didn't have time.
I don't even know who that is.
The hot girl from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Time Cop. Jesus
Oh, the brunette?
Christ, Joe. Yes.
Oh,
So
we should get her on the show.
Yeah, we should.
Hey, we've had pretty good luck lately for guests.
We have.
Yeah.
So Chad, where would you put Time Tracks as far as the show? With, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 5,
He'd put it on
one being let's say Team Knight Rider, and 5 being William Shatner's Tech War. Where would it fall on that scale?
Was
I'd say
Greg
about
Evigan in Tech War?
He totally was. The better of the My Two Dads was in William Shatner's Tech War.
Did you say the better of My Two Dads?
Yes. Paul Reiser. Who cares?
He went on to do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, no, but literally, I was saying about this, and I'm not to get off on the side.
I'm losing control of my tongue.
Oh,
Try not to stick it where you did last time.
Joe, go wrangle that for him.
I love tongue wrangling, but not so much of.
I'm gonna.
I said chesty men. I was going to say chesty men. What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. You
Man.
meant to say sweaty men.
I was a big
Pluto.
man.
I mean, no, Popeye. Popeye was a chesty man.
He was a chesty.
But yeah, I was saying about this because I know
hurt?
everybody is like, oh, Paul Reiser, he was in My Two Dads. He went on to do, but I was saying like, Mad About You's been off the air for a while.
No, they're bringing it back though.
It's already been brought back.
I never meet anybody like I meet people that are like, oh, I love Seinfeld. Oh, I love Frasier. I love Cheers. I've never met anybody that was like, let me tell you, the greatest sitcom of all time was Mad About You. And I think it's because Mad About You had great cameos, and it had that one guy that had the.
I think Mad About You is a great sitcom.
Give me 5 quotable quotes from Mad About You. Right?
I can't do. Okay, you out of the 3 of us, you know, I can't quote movies. I suck at that.
It's no Frasier.
No. Okay, fine.
It's no Frasier.
I know Chad then that loves. No, it's no Frasier. It's no. There's no.
No, but I know some. I didn't
no
know Chad
plot
liked
line
it that
flavor.
much. I liked it. I watched.
Oh, I loved Mad About You. I never missed an episode.
But there's a lady whom I went to community college with for a short period of time, whom I didn't remember. And there's a long story here. It's not really interesting. And I kind of remember that she had a crush on a friend of mine, but we're about the same age. And she posts about Mad About You a lot.
Okay, I'm not that obsessed. I just really enjoyed the show when it was on.
Have
I
you
haven't
watched the
watched
new
it
one?
since it
Who
was
was-
on, but
Who's the
You
guy?
watched the new one then?
I didn't know it was already out.
He does. I know he does voiceover work. Who was the guy that played the neighbor? He's also in a bunch of movies, but he very excellently plays like
Cousin or the neighbor? You mean the cousin?
By the way, I want to point
I don't-
I want to briefly note my professionalism. I just had to do a boozing belch, and I totally covered it up with a towel. You're welcome, America.
America's not tuning in.
Or-
Is this entertaining at all
I'd
for
say-
our audience? I'm curious. Too bad that we can't just stop the show and go, "Hey, pig fuckers."
or I was gonna say, in all fairness,
Are you entertained? What? Spit it out.
No, I was gonna say, in all fairness, you really should apologize to people in Australia and India.
What?
That's where we get most of our views from on YouTube.
Let's see if I can lose some viewers with this next statement.
My God.
So Gator's a very uneven film.
oddly enough, I saw Gator before I saw White Lightning, but you still haven't seen White Lightning yet, right?
No, I'm the same with you. I haven't seen White Lightning yet.
Well,
It's
I've
on
seen
Amazon.
it. I have seen it many times. Well, I have seen it. I just happened to.
I didn't measure out that drink.
Gator.
Richard Kind.
Richard Kind.
Yes, thank you.
He's not in Gator.
He didn't do anything on Spin City.
I didn't know he was only in 39 episodes of Mad About You. I learn something new every day.
I don't even
he
remember
wasn't-
being on the show.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's the one part I remembered, that he played this really great aggravating guy that didn't know he was aggravating, and I don't know why, but I identify with that.
So anyway,
I
what
don't know
about
why
Gator
either.
and Burt Reynolds' chest?
Oh man, it's such an uneven film. But God, how many movies did Burt Reynolds direct?
He directed that one. He directed a TV movie later in his career during his renaissance after Boogie Nights. I want to say he directed something. Did he direct Best Pals or Best Friends in the 80s? I'm not for sure.
Maybe. Did he direct the one where he's like a what's the one where he's like a sexual Lothario? I forgot the name of the movie.
I don't understand your fucking Latin.
Sorry, I'll stop speaking Portuguese.
You better stop speaking
yeah.
that educated gibberish.
And for some reason in that film, he directed the film, by the way. I don't know if we've mentioned that.
He directed
Gator.
the sequel, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, like just in random spots, the movie goes out of focus. And I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, it just randomly goes out of focus. Like, oh shit, who's he walking for? So there's somebody sitting next to a campfire, and he walks up to him and talks to him. And that whole scene's out of focus.
Buddy, he directed a 15.
Drink 3.
I'm so sorry. Gator
The End, by the way.
The End and Sharky's Machine.
Yep, we directed The End.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Sharky's Machine.
Really? I watched.
Yeah. I really enjoy Sharky.
I don't think I've ever seen it. There's two that I've never seen: Sharky's Machine, and then he did another one that I just watched a while back. I caught. It was another one of those ones in the 80s. It's not memorable in any way, shape, or form.
Cop for Hire?
No, Malone. You're talking about Rent-A-Cop. Actually, I watched Rent-A-Cop when I was a kid. Him and Liza Minnelli.
Yep, which is available to stream on Amazon Prime.
He directed, by the way, Burt Reynolds, you're talking about his directing career. He directed Gator, The End, Sharky's Machine, Stick, an episode of the relaunch of Alfred Hitchcock Presents in 1985.
Oh,
It was
wow.
on-
He directed an episode of
Amazing Stories. Excuse me.
Yep, he directed Amazing Stories. He actually directed 3 episodes of BL Striker. I wonder why. He directed an episode of the new WKRP in Cincinnati. He directed a TV movie called The Man from Left Field. He directed several episodes of Evening Shade.
He directed 35 episodes of Evening Shade, Chad. You would have held a gun to my head. I never would have guessed that.
And he directed Hard Time, which was a TV movie, and The Last Producer.
The Last Producer is the one that I remember he produced.
I remember that. What is BL Striker?
It's a show he did
Striker.
that I've never seen any of it.
Striker.
Me too, James. Me too. What is B? I don't know.
BL Striker, Chad, is a carefree private detective who lives on his boat docked in southern Florida. With the help of his friends and his annoying neighbor, he has to solve crimes afflicting the. Hold on.
Was this the 80s?
Yeah.
That was late 80s, early 90s, actually.
How come there's so many
88 to
80s
90.
cops? How come there's so many cop shows where the cop lives on a boat?
Because people watch him. And by the way, BL Striker was nowhere near as good as Riptide. Can I once again tell you, Riptide had it all. It had robots.
I've never seen BL Striker.
It had robots. It had a boat. It had a Vietnam vet. It had a helicopter. And they solved crimes, Chad. You name me another show half as good as Riptide.
Tropical
his
Punch.
best movie was
What's your face?
Cop and a Half.
Cop and a Half. I
saw that.
I actually fondly remember the scene from Cop and a Half where Burt Reynolds at the beginning of the movie stops a perp and breaks his nose and then resets it for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great scene. Let me take another drink.
You know what also is a great scene? Major Payne, where he has that scene. I got something that can take your mind off that pain.
That pain.
That's a class. My dad loves that scene.
Why am I the only one that didn't like any of those
How come you're not drinking?
My dad loves Major Payne. Like
I love
it's
Major
one of his
Payne
go-to
too.
films.
Well, they made a sequel?
I saw that coming. I couldn't stop it, nor did I really
Low-hanging
try.
fruit.
Hey, I worked with a guy who claimed that he was roommates with the fat kid from Major Payne.
What kind of fucking claims it airs? James and I worked with a lady who claimed that her husband was whose roommate was roommates with the guy who did that crazy line from American Pie. Do you know what I'm talking about, James?
Yeah, I got you.
Or something like that. Yeah.
You know, he claimed he was roommates with the fat kid from Major Payne, and then the night he took me home during a snowstorm, he wrecked his car. End of story.
That was a good story. That story right there didn't have a middle, an end, a beginning. Love you. Has anybody seen anything good? You guys suck.
Dude, I don't. I can't. I've been watching. You know what? I have watched that I have not been able to enjoy at all, and we just started watching it tonight, and I'm always like, no. And it's the host. My kids like to watch cooking shows.
The South Korean, the host,
like Nailed It. No, like Nailed It and stuff like that. And Disney Plus has their own BR Chef, right?
Oh my God, my daughters are making me watch BR.
Is it good?
No,
it's the host. The host is like literally, Joe. In like the first episode, they're cooking bacon. She goes over and takes their bacon and just starts eating it. And they're trying to prep it. And when they finally put on the last thing, they're making Cinderella's carriage.
Yeah,
and it's missing a wheel, and they actually have to go. The host ate the wheel.
Yeah, it wasn't bacon; it was cheese. James.
No. But she also ate bacon because she put it around the cheese and ate it while they were filming. Go back and watch it.
Hey,
I watched it. Sir.
You're right.
But you told that story incorrectly.
But she also ate their bacon. Go back.
I'm getting ready to be an angry drunk.
So do you guys watch Lego Masters? Anybody watch Lego? Chris?
I did watch Lego Masters. By the way, Lego Masters.
I can't stand it because of Will Arnett. Will Arnett is
Will Arnett is what that show has going for it.
No, fuck no. That's the worst part of it. I can't stand it. He sucks at it. He's a shitbag. No. I cannot watch it because of him.
Dude, seriously, you've got Disney Plus, right?
The fuck out of me. He's the worst host, or maybe not the worst host ever. I stopped watching. Christy started watching.
Joe just said annoyed.
Annoyed.
You seriously go watch 2 episodes. Go watch 2 episodes of BR Chef.
And by the way, I like Will Arnett, but fuck him and hosting.
But by the way, this is going to be funny when this becomes our most viewed episode.
I know, and I'll get tagged by the lady that hosts BR Chef, and it'll be like, "How dare you, sir?"
I want Will Arnett to come in here, and we'll do a Batman off.
But no, that doesn't bother me. But seriously, Joe, go and watch BR Chef next time. I know, Chrissy likes to watch
Dr. Claw.
shows.
I know.
I'll get you, Gadget.
Yeah, you're Dr. Claw.
Go next time Christy wants to watch a cooking show. Just put on BR Chef. If you make it through 2 episodes, and you can say no.
Our chef, BR Chef.
If you can say that host is better than Will Arnett, I will give you 2 shiny quarters.
Speaking of BR Chef, you know what I just found out today? I was reading online. Ewan McGregor was actually going to
have a penis.
In the 90s. Ewan McGregor was going to be the Silver Surfer.
I did not know that.
Yep.
He's no.
Speaking of which, out of all the comic book movies we've had, how come we have not had a Silver Surfer movie?
Because it's a stupid idea.
Bite my ass.
But actually, isn't that an idea of its time, though?
Yeah, it totally is.
All of Marvel is an idea of its time, and if it works well, people update it as time goes on. But this is a true story. Stan Lee, actually, when he was editor, had them cancel Silver Surfer instead of trying to update it, because Stan Lee said that Silver Surfer was kind of a Jesus religious type character.
He really was,
because he died. He basically died and is reborn for his planet to save them from Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an original story, Joe. I know what you're thinking. I know you were getting ready to convert to surferism, but don't do it. It's based on the Bible.
So I really like Disney.
Oh, that was wrong.
Did you drink the Listerine instead? You took.
Did you just drink the Listerine? You froze.
Took the Mickey, because there's 2 cups there. Anyway, what I was going to say.
This killed it. That's better than yeah.
Disney Plus is worth every penny. We bought the 3-year subscription paid. Blah, blah, blah. It's worth every penny. We use it quite a bit. My kid likes Spider-Man, and he's gotten into the early 80s show, and I think I've told you about this. And I have
Wait. You talking about Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends?
Or this one before Spider-Man and Amazing Friends?
Yeah, it's
early
Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. It's from 81. It's on Disney Plus.
That was the one that came out before Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends because they wanted to. It was doing well, but they thought, what can we do to increase it? We need to have a girl.
I just want to point at this point in the episode, I can't feel my lips.
And also, you can't keep. And also,
I really wish we
disappointment. You should be a disappointment that I'm sitting here talking about a comic book character and have seen more of something than you have.
I know. I haven't. I
really wish we had that you had a mannequin, Chad, just so I could say I can, and then
I wish you had a mannequin that was on the move.
That would be Mannequin 2.
Who was the mannequin in Mannequin 2? I can't remember.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Oh shit! Now I gotta look it up.
So anyway, it's back to Spider-Man.
I can't operate my damn mouse.
It's not bad. Only thing is some of the. I actually texted you all the other day. What was it? It wasn't the engineer. It was the engineer, or what was he called again? Is the dumbest, lamest villain ever?
Christy Swanson.
Oh,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've met Christy Swanson. She's very sweet.
No, there are tons of dumb villains in every comic.
Is it the Tinkerer? Was it the Tinkerer?
Yeah, the Tinkerer is it. The Tinkerer actually also was a Fantastic Four villain. Yeah,
but of all the ones they could have pulled, by the way, the cartoon's not too bad. Even with the cheap animation,
Spider-Man's a compelling character.
From the shit the kids could watch.
Dude, no, I've told you before. I have mental scarring over some of the stuff that especially Amelia.
I'm pretty good with most of it. I mean, when he demands to watch Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2, and I've seen it so many times, but I also know in the back of my head, this could be worse.
So the Tinkerer is just an old man who wears his glasses on his forehead?
No, he looks different in the show. He looks kind of like a pedo-ass in the show. He's got a low brown coat, and I'm the Tinkerer, and it's kind of he looks like fucking Phil.
I dropped my phone.
By the way,
he looks nothing like Phil, but later tag Phil at this. Phil.
Hashtag
it looks
Phil.
like he works at Lazak.
That's actually my entire thing. Like, do you think that you should, if you ever become an evil villain, do you think you should get to pick your own name?
Another drink, boys.
Or should you have a name assigned?
Wait, how many drinks is that for you?
3.
I've already drank my third one.
Yeah, because you do that. Like, I love you, but you could just pace, enjoy it, change. You remember a few
I thought I was pacing.
Picante sauce.
You know how to do it. Do you remember?
These boys are from New York City.
What the hell is the difference between picante and salsa other than picante is really runny?
It's the consistency. It's I mean,
hold on. You cannot say anything about consistency considering I can't talk about why I don't like coconut.
Oh, I can say whatever I want because that's flipping weird. Y'all are always like, "Oh, it's got a weird texture."
It does have a weird texture.
Some of the other stuff that
you all does have a weird texture. Coconut sucks.
Listen, I've put so many dicks in my mouth. What?
Never a texture issue there.
So many. I'm just like a circus seal.
I'm just going to drink right out of the bottle.
Anyway, back to dicks.
Hold on.
Talk about Spider-Man.
Hold on. Stop, Joe. I'm compelled by him drinking out of that bottle. Do that again.
Can you do it sideways?
So compelling.
And then on it, and then come up, and then kind of mouthy with a mouthful go,
what a friend of mine from high school, actually it was his father, every time one of the Klingon ships came on the scene in Star Trek, that ship is oddly compelling.
My headphone fell out of my ear.
That's awesome. So I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, that Spider-Man's not too bad, and he could be watching worse. Speaking of which, I showed him 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it only took us 2 nights for him to get through it. I thought that wasn't bad.
No.
Honestly, it almost took me 2 nights. It's 60-some years old, and a lot of it looks 60-some years old. I mean,
you know what my daughters watched from beginning to end. They actually got all the way through it.
What?
The apple dumpling gang.
I think you told me that.
Is that it's a sequel that has one of my favorite lines in it. I think it's.
I haven't watched the sequel yet.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You've seen the first one recently. If it's in the first one, you can tell me. But the judge catches them doing something and says, "Now listen, boys, if you all do this again, we're going to have to hang you."
Yeah, that's the first one. Harry Morgan's the judge.
Okay,
Dumbass.
does it then have the line? And if we have
That
to
was
hang
harsh.
you boys,
I mean, he is.
boys
but that
have
was
to
harsh.
bring your own rope.
Yeah, that's in the first one. It's
Okay.
Harry Morgan.
And then it cuts back later on. They go, "Yeah, we got to go get rope."
Yeah.
Okay.
Dragnet the movies, Harry Morgan. And that's the only other thing he
By the
did.
way, Harry Morgan was one of the funniest human beings ever to live.
Oh, God. No question.
There's nothing, if you can get about half cocked and get 60
He said half.
if you can get full cock in your mouth and get some 60s era Dragnet with Harry Morgan and see him try not to laugh at the shit that Jack, what's his face, is saying.
Jack Webb.
And you guys
Related
know
to
that's
Dan Aykroyd.
That's the reason why, and it doesn't get enough credit, that the Dan Aykroyd Dragnet movie works so well, is they nailed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Dragnet the movie's so amazing.
It's really good. And
Christopher Plummer's best.
Oh, I love Tim and Starflash.
Drink
The
4.
hills are alive with the sound of Flummer. So that's what they nail in Dragnet the movie that I didn't realize till I probably seen it years later.
I hit my knee.
Jack Webb. Dan Aykroyd does a good Jack Webb.
He really does.
He does. He does.
Of course, I think Dan Aykroyd in real life is Jack Webb.
Dan Aykroyd in real life is a drug-taking, drinking, maybe Jack Webb, who believes in aliens, dimensions, boogeymen.
Ghost.
I'm fine with all of that.
Did you all watch Joe Rogan and him? You should. Joe did a good job with him, and then later, a couple episodes later, it came up, and Joe goes, "Man, that fucker believes in everything, everything."
By the way, I'm finding out more and more.
It is fascinating. Your life probably is more interesting and fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you and I, Chad, are walking around going, "I didn't see it. Fuck it."
Well, and I strike a middle ground on some of that. Like, I don't necessarily
Swamp gas.
I don't necessarily believe aliens have visited here, but do I believe in the vast cosmos that some sort of DNA could be?
Yeah,
sure.
But one of those things is a statistical probability. The fact that we live in an ever-expanding universe, and to think that life either hasn't existed and it's already gone, right, over the time, or it has, or it's starting somewhere else, and where is life that we'd be able to communicate with, considering the vast amount of space? That yes, there's other life.
Well, my entire thing about it too is, let's say there is an advanced race that is out there, they're cruising by, and they're like, "Oh, well, that seems
gone. That may be already gone." That's the other fascinating.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, even if, let's say right now,
or maybe it's the fact that we consider ourselves an advanced race.
Well, and I was saying,
when a fucking leader is talking about licking Clorox, keep going.
Yeah.
Well, that's my entire thing. So let's say let's pin this completely the opposite way, and imagine that we discovered a race that couldn't figure out how to, I don't know, do anything. It's not like we're going to reach out and
that's
talk.
us.
No, I'm saying, so if you've got a species that can surf the cosmic whatever waves or what, doesn't matter, and they run across Earth, do you think they're going to take time to go, well, that's got radio signals, let's go talk to them? No, why would you do that?
The reason they're not going to do that is because the fucking Vulcans have already set up the rules of engagement on this shit, right?
That's true. Actually, by the way,
you mean the rules of first contact?
Well, that's what they call it later.
That's a horrible Tommy Lee Jones, Samuel L. Jackson movie.
It's
you son of a bitch.
a bad movie that just has a bad ending.
No, was that? But it's nowhere. It's by no means the best Sam Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones collaboration, which would of course be Sunset Limit.
That's a depressing movie. Now,
but it is phenomenally well done.
Chad. See, they changed it to that other shit to push the Vulcan agenda of peace and whatnot. But we know those motherfuckers aren't all that peaceful.
By the way,
I believe a little bit in what the Klingons are preaching.
By the way, no. This actually gets to
finally getting entertaining to me.
Well, this actually gets to an interesting point. Do you think the Andorians always get mad when they're like, "Oh, it's first contact day"? No. We met the Vulcans 100 years ago. This is a human holiday. You're ignoring our culture. Because I would.
Ask you a question, and this is a legitimate question. Because you're a Trekkie, I'm not actually joking. did the Vulcans? Are we the first people they made contact with?
No. They had met the Andorians. Which is actually
Other
my
than the
favorite.
Andorians, who else had they met?
Oh, tons of other. There's actually Discovery has that entire line about when they met the Klingons 100 years earlier, and they have the great line of the first time the Vulcans met the Klingons just attacked them, blew them up, done. And and Sarek has that great line where he says, "And we learned from that encounter. So every time we met them, we greeted them in our own way. We attacked first until they learned that it was illogical to attack us. They wanted to start a dialogue." And she goes on later, she refers to it as the Vulcan hello. And I'm like, that actually is a really interesting concept, which actually it's going off topic a little bit, but we didn't have one anyway.
Yeah, can we take a moment to talk about the cultural impact of Blank Man?
No, I want to actually talk about this.
Damn it.
It's directed by Mike, what's his face, right?
Since we brought up Star Trek, actually, I was thinking about this earlier today.
No, Mike Nichols did not touch that.
Enterprise doesn't get enough credit, and I've been rewatching Star Trek some with my
completely
kids.
Agree.
Enterprise doesn't get enough credit because the reason I like that show
is a much better show than Voyager, and everybody else who thinks differently can suck my testicle.
Well, I mean, you might get a line. But the other part about it is that I actually think about is what I like about Enterprise is that it doesn't show the Vulcans actually liking us that much, and that makes logical sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you
were trusting us or giving a damn or anything.
Yeah, because they're like, we're nothing to them. Like, they're like, well, and I love the fact that it's a natural character arc. You know, Archer starts out not liking T'Pol because she's there to babysit them and make sure they don't go too far. Because humans just now have been given Warp 5 technology because the Vulcans wouldn't help them with it. And then he gets saddled with this Vulcan watching over him and reporting back to high command. And I'm like, that is fascinating because every other show is, and logically it would. You become more, I mean, look at us in Russia. We have no issues with Russia now. Anyway, so as you look at that, what does all of that mean? And so Enterprise doesn't get enough credit for the character arc that they really developed there. So there you go. Anyway, Blank Man, the problem with that movie is it didn't have enough major pain in it.
You know what? This is hard.
The same guy that directed Blank Man directed Indian Summer. Google it.
I liked Indian Summer.
I do too.
You know what Indian Summer is not?
Great Sam Raimi performance.
Indian Summer, though, is not to be confused with Corvette Summer.
No. Which is Mark Hamill's follow-up to Star Wars.
Yeah, and
I enjoyed, though, Corvette Summer 2, Attack of the Thunderbird.
Oh. So, back to Star Trek. I haven't watched Discovery, and I'm going to watch Picard probably before I watch Discovery. I don't really have anything funny to say.
A little bit of there's some Easter eggs hidden between all of them now. It actually gets kind of fun if you're a nerd. So I have a blast.
Right.
When did I start wearing a hat?
Why do people shit so much on Enterprise? I can't figure. And Enterprise has some of the most interesting. Actually, Enterprise is my second or third favorite of the series.
Agreed.
Well, I
enjoyed Enterprise so much.
I am serious.
It is very low budget, but I enjoyed it so much.
This is my ranking of Star Trek. DS9, Enterprise, Original. Done.
Really? Not even the Next Generation?
Next Generation comes fourth.
You know, I was thinking about it because I've been rewatching everything again for the 5,000th time, here and there. I like Discovery is warming up to me, but it's not because of I like what it's because it's doing social commentary the way that the original series did, and that makes some people angry, and I'm enjoying that. But I actually like, and I'm forgetting the actor's name. It's his. I love his Twitter handle is Albino Kid. But he plays Stamets on Discovery, and I think more and more that I like that character, just simply because he gets easily aggravated, and it's nice to see a Star Trek character that I can identify with.
Oh, but
Anthony Rapp.
Yes, thank you, Anthony Rapp.
I was listening to Nerdist one time.
Adventures in Babysittings. Anthony
Rapp, though, I think he has one of the more interesting character plot lines because he's bloody brilliant, but he hates to deal with human beings. and he really does. He plays that so very well, where he almost feels like he has to condescend to talk to people. But as you see the character more and more developed, it becomes, you actually start to understand why he is that way. Plus, it gives us back Harry Mudd, and Harry Mudd is such a great character.
So, back to what I was saying. I watched an episode of The Nerdist. I don't remember when. Chris, what's his name, Chad?
Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick.
Hardwick.
They were talking about Star Trek now. He says, of course, the worst series, and they always say Enterprise. Fuck them. I don't understand it for the life.
That's not true.
It's Voyager.
Voyager is the worst Star Trek, period. No argument.
It doesn't even get interesting remotely till the last 3 seasons. There's some decent
episodes. I was about to say, it's got some decent episodes. And by the way, anytime Robert Picardo's on screen, I'm watching it.
I agree, but there's just him.
Yeah, there's
Felix is annoying.
Well, actually, so
Chakotay's interesting.
Well, but I think the characters, the episodes that get really interesting to me, because I've been rewatching it as well. I go back through and I pick up. I think the Tuvix episode is interesting in the last 20 minutes. The beginning of the episode is not so great, but in the last 20 minutes.
You mean Tuvok?
No, Tuvix. It's where Neelix and Tuvok get combined by the transporter, and he doesn't want to die, and he does that entire thing, and it's almost what I like about it. And again, you have to have seen the other shows, but it's the flip side of Measure of a Man. You've created this life, and this life is telling you, I don't want to die. You don't own me. You don't have the right to make me back to these 2 other beings. If you do this, you will kill me. And at the end of the day, because even the doctor has a line going, I can't order this. This is the destruction of a life. And Janeway makes the decision. And it's one of the more interesting scenes with Janeway. So there's episodes that are hidden in there, but there's also some episodes that contain, just.
Well, I mean, for example, with Voyager, the Brad Dourif episodes are amazing.
Oh, yeah. No, that actually has this.
But why? If somebody else plays that character, it's not as interesting.
What, Joe?
Why?
Well, I think
can't hear me?
They do this. What? I can hear you.
Hear me? Yeah. Why is it interesting? If someone else plays Brad Dourif's character, it's not interesting.
Well, no. There's one thing on the script though I do give them credit for, as I rewatched it and actually took some time with it, is his eulogy, so to speak, at the end. If I hate to say it, but if it was the original series, Kirk would have gave a speech about, even though this was a bad guy who had killed people, he redeemed himself at the end, and you would have had a shot of the crew mourning. That show doesn't end that way. It ends with Tuvok by himself saying, he finally found peace, and he's the only one that mourns him. He's the only one that acknowledges that he sacrificed himself and died, and that's interesting.
But in a perfect society, can you imagine what a monster he is?
Well, that's what I mean. And I think, and it's interesting that the most logical crew member is the one that acknowledges, the one that's not supposed to have emotions has a more emotional scene at his death. So I say all that to say, I didn't enjoy Voyager much the first time around because it is Lost in Space, and I've seen that show. And the other thing I've realized, though,
Lost in Space is not good.
The other thing that I've realized,
Jonathan Harris.
The other thing that I've realized, though, with rewatching,
that's what it takes. Just tune in and fast forward to Jonathan Harris starts arguing with that fucking robot, and you're good.
You clanking.
Wait till he does some alliteration.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that I've realized with Voyager is I have came to appreciate Kate Mulgrew playing Janeway, because she's not playing Picard. She's not playing Kirk. She does a relatively decent job of that. But I've realized my biggest problem with Voyager gets wrapped up, I think, by the 3rd or 4th season. Jennifer Leanne, whatever. I don't care about Cass. I care more about Neelix. And Neelix is starting to grow on me a little bit. Never going to be in my top 10.
No. Never.
But I understand Neelix, because Neelix at the end of the day is kind of a con artist. He's kind of quirky and all of that stuff. He's nowhere near Alan Shimmerman as Quark is. That's
dude.
Great. But
I caught an episode the other day, and it was on the BBC, and Christy and then the kids started watching it. You could just see him doing this, entranced.
Oh yeah, no. all of that. So Voyager is still not my favorite series. The original series, because of nostalgia, will always be my favorite. Deep Space Nine.
It's interesting, Chad. You said that. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Deep Space Nine is the best series overall. Next Generation has some of the best episodes of any of the series.
It does, but in
The standard,
it also has some of the biggest clunkers.
It does. So overall, the original series, I've told James before this.
I'm sorry, I keep hitting the mic because I have no control of my arms.
The original series.
What do I do with my hands?
Series. So I don't think you should ever actually even put it into a ranking because it is what it is.
The original series?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, you could say it's your favorite, but some of them are completely outdated. Some of them are still relevant.
Oh God, that hippie episode drives me nuts. I can't even watch it.
Still, because it's got Charles Napier, right?
Well, it's funny to me. So.
Well, yeah, it's still my favorite when Sci-Fi Channel did the intros and had the original cast back, and they got James Doohan to introduce that one. And literally, all they did was film him, and they're like, "We want you to do the intro to I forget the name of the episode. That's horrible."
You know, by the way, you know the episode of the original series.
No, it is not. It's called Space Sea. Don't you besmirch Space Sea.
The original series. You know what episode drives? I can't stand. I still can't watch it. Other than the hippie episode, I can't watch the hippie episode. I can't stand that episode.
That's a fight theme. It's in a couple different episodes.
But the one where Spock has to go through the whole mating process.
I
hate that episode.
I also don't like the one that's going to piss James off too. The one with Gary Southern or Northern or whatever his name is.
Gary Seven.
I always think that one's boring too.
It was supposed to be a spinoff, and basically it was going to be the American Doctor Who.
It's a boring episode for Star Trek. But anyway,
actually, it's not the best episode. That character has a lot of potential that never got
probably
used.
Does. Yeah, I always say that about Doctor Who, is I appreciate the character and I find that interesting, but I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who that I enjoyed. So anyway,
I tried to start watching it, and then they took it off all the.
Well, yeah, for you, but you've seen more than I have, and I just can't get into it. I've tried. Christy's seen all of them, but anyway, so it's Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I think it may be Enterprise, but I don't know. You know, Next Generation has some of those great. Like Measure of a Man. I know everybody talks about yesterday's Enterprise.
No, Measure of a Man is really a really good episode, but no, I still say that.
Right? Is it Yesterday's Enterprise? Is that the name of it?
That's the one with Rachel Garrett.
That's also the one where they brought back what's her face.
Yar, yeah.
Well, and that's what Tarantino says should have been a movie.
Yeah, there's actually some of the plans they had for that actually was going to be at one point
Amount of ice.
In the early script planning, it was actually going to be the Enterprise A, and they were going to see if they get the original series cast back together. But it turns out that would have been cost prohibitive.
Well, and the other thing about the Next Generation is none of those folks wanted to necessarily end the series, right? I know the writers and several of the actors did not. I know everybody wants to make movies, but a lot of them feel that they had hit their stride.
Yeah, because Jonathan Frakes, oh no, I got to do fact or fiction after this?
But I think that's the unfortunate thing is that they hit season 7 and they probably could have done a lot more.
Well, they already had scripts for season 8. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think there's a documentary you can find where they actually go through, here's the scripts we had if we would have done season 8. And some of them, just hearing the script descriptions, I was like, yeah,
they should have not probably jumped to the movies as quick. You know, I like everyone else, I would have liked to have seen, of course, DeForest Kelly died, and that made it problematic. Yeah. I can't believe we spent this much time talking about Star Trek, but I've had several drinks. However,
can we talk about Time Tracks a little bit more?
No.
Oh shit! Because I want to talk about the part where he puts on his pants, and it's the zipper's not there. It's the button fly.
Unless we get to Time Tracks, the motion picture directed by Robert Wise, I'm not interested.
Oh, God, that would be so amazing.
No, it wasn't.
I'm trying to introduce my kid to Star Wars, and he prefers.
My daughters prefer Return of the Jedi.
No, well, I haven't got to it. He prefers the new ones over Clone Wars. I'm trying because I want to go through Clone Wars. So every time I watch him, I'm hoping he'll get addicted. He's good for about 15, 20 minutes, and then he doesn't get mad or anything. He just loses attention span. But now, if Rey is on from the new trilogy, he is entranced. He loves Rey.
Well, that's the thing too.
He also
by the way, Daisy Ridley's best performance, Peter Rabbit.
What?
Oh God, she's amazing as that. What? Oh, I forget the name of the bunny.
What are you talking about?
Daisy Ridley. She's in Peter Rabbit. She's one of the voices of the rabbits.
Oh, you've never seen Peter Rabbit? It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's actually there's some pretty funny moments in it.
I took my kids to see it at the Dollar Theater. That was, Joe, just FYI, the Dollar Theater. That was back when you used to be able to go to these buildings and they put a movie. It's a fascinating technology. They put it on a big screen, you see, and you could watch it.
Have some sort of communal kind of experience with
it. And it was a different time, Joe. But we went, and actually the kids liked it so much, and I was just glad to get them out of the house during the summer.
Let me add a little more to that. You remember when Lexington actually had a legitimate $1 to $2 theater?
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is why we went. And what I was going to say is the kids liked it so much. They wanted to take their mother back to see it, and we went again that weekend. I saw Peter Rabbit twice at the Dollar Theater, and even then it was the $1.50 theater.
And didn't even feel bad about it.
And we bought popcorn because if it's $1 to get $1.50 to get in the door, you can spoil yourself, spoil yourself, have a good time.
Dude, I was telling Chad something I enjoyed the hell out of that I didn't know I would. And by the way, it's by no means a classic. Was Hobbs and Shaw. I do not care.
Oh no, Silas. That was one he wanted to see in theater.
Did you see it?
I agree. Yeah, I saw it in theater.
I don't care about the Fast and Furious movie. I really enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw.
I had fun, and I think it's because honestly, the fact that they made it a point to say these characters hate each other. I'm like, well, now I want to see more.
And they don't ever really get better.
No,
the movie.
No, I'm like
towards the end, they've got to get together, Chad. Right? I'm not going to give anything away. They've got to get.
Hey, I'm just going to say, family sticks together,
and they don't do any of that shit.
No, and that's my entire thing. And I'm not a Fast and Furious fan. Silas loved Hobbs and Shaw. Let me tell you this, Joe. Silas loved Hobbs and Shaw so much because he'd never seen the Fast and Furious, but he's like, it's PG-13. Will you take me to see? I said, yeah, I guess. And at first I was like, we probably should do some research. We didn't. He went and saw Hobbs and Shaw, and he goes, can I go back and watch the first one? And I was like, I think they're all PG-13.
They are.
You can watch any of them that are PG-13. Literally, he watched the first one. He was like, meh. He enjoyed Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift is actually entertaining.
Is it really?
Yeah, I will actually say, in terms of, hold on, I'm going to cough.
It makes no sense.
I was on silent eating. Hey, I'm not even hungry. By the way, shout out to our governor. Thank you so much for the great job you're doing. Shout out to, he is right to be a true Kentuckian. You need to eat out 3 or 4 times a week. I don't think he said that many times. But Joe Lewis has taken him up on that challenge because it's kept me from killing my children and going all Jack Torrance.
I don't know.
He just referred to his one child as plural.
I did. I've been drinking. Now, the Gardetto.
You've only drank 3 drinks. Where's your 4th?
I'm almost finished. My drinks are a little different than yours. The Gardetto special request garlic rye chips.
Oh, he froze.
But I had
rye chips are the rye chips are the bomb.
Yeah. So the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was really tough because I wasn't the only. I just don't think everybody was on board with it like I was in my household. That this was going to last for a while.
Oh no!
That's when I ordered. That's when I ordered. Do you remember? Did you see when I posted my picture of a case of cherry generic Kool-Aid from Walmart?
I saw that.
Yeah. Well,
that was one of the few times I actually got on social media.
I also ordered a case of Grippos, and by God, a case of these.
Hold on. Let's before James. You actually got your Grippos?
It's only like the 3rd box.
But you've got your Grippos?
I have Grippos, yeah.
Oh yay!
I have.
Why?
Oh,
I have
shit. I almost missed my cup.
Where was the joke or the sarcasm about my Grippos?
No. Well,
because you went on a whole complaint about how you weren't getting your Grippos, about how they couldn't.
Oh no, they canceled one of the orders. I had to go through a different service, but we're okay.
See?
I haven't murdered anyone yet. We're good.
No, what I have not left my house at all, but I have had
I've been
stuff
to 2
delivered.
stores.
I have stuff delivered. And
I went to Speed. Now mine's different. I've actually not been to grocery. I went to Speedy to get gas the other day, and
I haven't started my car. And actually, I realized this today, Joe.
The battery's probably dead.
I had a moment where I'm like, if a squirrel is now living in my car in the engine block, I'm gonna be mad because it's happened to me before.
You promise? Have you replaced that battery since you owned it?
Yeah.
Okay, it may make it.
I was gonna say I had my keys in my pocket when I walked the dog earlier today. I'm like, I'll start it, and I forgot.
I was about 2 weeks not starting, or a week. I was looking under the hood and realized that black battery. You know how you can look at them, and that's the one from the factory, and mine's it's a 13.
Yeah. No. So I'm gonna go out and
if it makes it through COVID, I'll be shocked.
I told Dana, I was like, if the squirrel hasn't already ate away, if there's not a squirrel sitting there cooking dinner on my engine right now, there's no way I'm not going to have to do something to it.
Chad's writing something down. What were we talking about? It was movie related before this.
Time tracks. We're talking about time tracks again.
We talked about Robert Shaw.
It doesn't have all that family shit in it. It has a little bit of The Rock and his mom making up with his brother, but it doesn't really have all that crap Vin Diesel spews during those fucking horrible.
Well, and that's my entire thing. And that's what I was saying.
The next action sequence.
That's what I was saying when my
right.
So we got home and Silas was like, Hobbs and Shaw, I want to see them all. He watched Fast and Furious. We watched Tokyo Drift. Too Fast, Too Furious, is that the one? We watched the first 3, and then he was, I'm good. Like, oh, you want to watch Hobbs and Shaw again? Oh, yeah, I'll watch that again. And so I told him later on, I was like, listen, Silas, Hobbs and Shaw made money, but it didn't make Fast and Furious money. So I don't know if there'll be a Hobbs and Shaw 2. He looked at me and going, what are they going to make? I'm like, well, I think they'll be Fast and Furious 9. He goes, why? And that's my son, who, by the way, to this day defends the film Monster Trucks as being a far superior film.
James, here's another one for Monster Trucks. Here's for one for me and one for my homies.
Say what you will, but I once mentioned how much he loved Monster Trucks, and to the credit of the actor Thomas Lennon and writer and all of that stuff, Thomas Lennon is in Monster Trucks. He plays a biological geologist who studies these underground creatures. And
Robert Ben Garant wrote one of the top 2 best screenwriting books I've ever read.
Yep. But Thomas Lennon, I mentioned how much my son loved it and how much he had to go see it and all that stuff. Thomas Lennon responded and actually said, thank you for letting us know that your son enjoyed it. Responded back, was nothing but nice. So
get him on the show.
Thomas Lennon, I'm sure will not remember doing that since, it's been, 4 years now. But my son was like, oh, he's a scientist. Yeah, he's a scientist. And my son absolutely loved the fact that an actor noticed him.
Hey, boys, I need to ask you all a question. I thought Romulan ale was illegal.
It's supposed to be that light blue color.
Can you do me a favor, James, and start quoting parts of Star Trek 6 while I sit here and drink this? Pretend
actually,
dinner with the Klingons and Chancellor Gorkin.
I was about to say, no, actually.
I'm going to call him Gherkin. He's a fucking pickle.
One of my favorite scenes that I always think of, and I never have a reason.
Getting drunk.
I never have.
I'm already there, buddy.
What's the best? Who of your friends has the best drunk phrase?
Joe Lewis. It's because it's always on the nose. It's either I've been drinking or I'm drunk.
I'm drunk. I'm almost
other
there,
people
buddy.
like.
I thought it was mine where I talked about who could win in a fall.
No, yours is, hey, Chad, would you like to, you and Phil both, would you like to have a drink? Nah, I probably should hold off. A few minutes later, the 5th is gone because none of you are taking your time. And all you can see is your goddamn hand coming up trying to get chocolate chip cookies off of something or snacks because you made it to the fucking floor because you can't raise up anymore.
My favorite memory involving Phil was driving to the race. Those of you that are listening, I normally DD. Driving to the race, we picked up people. We had not yet left the town that we were in.
Forehead.
And all I hear is Phil say, who wants some of this Robin Hood fighting a bear?
Yeah,
and then, before we go, 30 miles to stop to get breakfast, I hear Phil again say, who finished off Robin Hood fighting a bear? And I literally screamed out, you all have drank a 5th of honeyed mead. And that stuff was like cough syrup thick.
It was cough syrup.
And all I hear is
the most embarrassed Craig Dennis has ever been with me was that time we went to And it's the same thing with Phil. Phil goes, I'm not going to drink that much this year. And I had a fifth of Wild Turkey Honey. And I said, Phil, you want to just take a swift? He goes, I might. 30 minutes later, by the time we were in Mount Sterling, Kentucky, Phil and I had killed a fifth of Wild Turkey Honey. And he says that's the most embarrassed he's ever been in a Cracker Barrel. We were having breakfast.
Which is funny.
Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about personal stories. We're outing people here. Nobody knows that Phil's gay. Oh, my God.
Oh, Joe, some of us knew.
Oh, he loves life. So anyway,
I really wish you were drinking mouthwash right now.
I wish he was too.
By the way, I flipped and grabbed it twice. I'm not gonna lie. Those reactions, you can tell the real ones because it's cleaning you up, but it leaves you hollow inside.
Really quick, back to Star Trek. Are you going to start doing the lines from that dinner?
Well, that's what I was going to do. One of my favorite lines that I never get to quote is actually after the dinner when the attack first happens and Kirk gets on the bridge and says, "What happened? Where's the emergency?" And Chekhov has
Basil Hayden.
Chekhov has that line, something like "only in the sides of my head."
Yeah. That's your favorite line? It's not coming to dinner?
No. It's not my favorite line, but it's a line I'll never get to use. Like, I can't just somebody walk into my office and be like, only in the sides of my, what? What are you talking about? I don't know.
Revenge is a dish best served what?
You have not read Shakespeare until you've read it in the original Klingon.
Klingon. Oh, okay. So back to this is what I wanted to talk to you all about.
Oh, so we're going to talk about time track some more?
No, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Do you know? And I guess this is in Jules Verne's novel, and I know that the writer director of Star Trek VI is a huge reader. Nicholas Meyer is. If you've
he's also an author.
He's also an author. He's a famous filmmaker. If you've not read his book about Star Trek, it's called A View from the Bridge. It's a fantastic book. Go out and check it out. Love to have him on the show. God, I'd love to have Nicholas Meyer on the show. So Rora Pinte is the prison camp that they're on in Undiscovered Country, right on the Klingon world, wherever it's at. Do you know that's where the prison camp is in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Is called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is called Rora Pinte.
Oh, there's tons of allusions.
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Chad?
No, I didn't know that.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Or is it just me geeking out because I'm drunk?
No, it's the same reason. Like,
column A, column B.
Fuck you, Chad.
There's tons of references.
Can we do it from 6 feet apart? I mean, my dick ain't that big.
There's tons of references.
One of those things where we just watch each other masturbate if I went too far.
What is the but I mean,
silence means
I really want to talk more about Blank Man so I can feel comfortable.
I mean, there's tons of references that Nicholas Meyer has built into Star Trek. Because you even get, what's the name of the Klingon ship that they quote unquote commandeer in Star Trek 4? Do you remember?
Nope.
No.
It's the HMS Bounty.
Oh.
McCoy dubs it the HMS Bounty before they take off because they're mutineers.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's tons of, like, Nicholas Meyer, honestly, I admire him so much.
He's the most literate person to ever write for Star Trek.
Well, Michael Chapon.
So is that where Hannibal Lecter ate Captain Hook and took a ship?
Yeah, that's it, Chad.
Okay, cool. Shit. He ate Captain Hook and took a shit, is what I heard.
He went to the bathroom, you see, Joe, and the hogs ate him. 4 people, none of which watch this show, would find that hilarious.
With the shit and the hogs ate him. We had a time the other day with Patrick Lussier, who may come out after this or before this, depending on, and he had a pretty good sense of humor about this stuff like we do.
Yeah, no, actually, people. It's funny because I always think as I try to get people to do the show, and most of them tell me no.
No.
Or my favorite, just don't respond. But it's funny.
No.
The people who do the show always come back and say, "Well, that was a lot of fun." Like, I don't think we've ever had.
No.
I don't think we've ever had anybody go, I totally regret doing this. Please, God, how much do I have to pay you not to air this?
Well, now that Kurtzman is done, we had a really short one. So it took us 2 years to get to Kurtzman, and that's okay. Some of it was.
He's busy. It turns out he works on a lot of movies and shows.
He's an actual working dude. So it took a while, and that's okay. And he was very nice and cordial, and we dealt with his wife, and I started to get a little impatient, but I try to suck it up because they're doing me a favor, doing us a favor.
Yeah.
His wife turned out to be an absolute wonderful person. We had a great time, and we had a good interview. And then after the cameras were done, because we had a hard out, right? 30 to 40 minutes, a hard out. That's the reason why that episode's so short.
Yep.
They go, oh, we could have talked 30 minutes longer if you wanted to. Right, James?
Yes.
Because what happened is...
Y'all got him going. He would have kept going for over an hour.
Yeah.
Wow, we could have done that? I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, when Chad wasn't able to be there, which is sad, but I don't even know if... Did we tell you this, Chad?
Nope.
Huh?
No, thank you, Chad, for sitting there texting on your phone during a live episode.
I'm not texting. I'm telegraphing.
Well,
Oh my God! I'd pay real money if he brought up the note.
Then that song starts playing. So we could have done because we finally opened up towards the end. It took him a minute. I think I was a little off-putting, but I wanted to ask him a question never been asked before, and I swear I was thinking, oh, maybe there's not an end, but maybe it'd be interesting about giving up your career somewhat or transitioning your career for your family. I doubt that he's been asked about that, but you could just see it over his face, like, you're going to ask me about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was trying to be different, because you never hear. Let me give you all an advice. If anybody's out there listening right now,
nobody's listening, Joe.
if they are, and they are interested in moderating or any kind of interviewing, this is the best advice ever. Bruce Campbell says this in his book, and I think it's beautiful. I used to say it differently, but I'm going to steal Bruce Campbell's. You don't ask Mark Hamill about Star Wars.
No. You ask him about the
Corvette Summer.
the diver.
Honestly, boys, you know what he loves talking about? And I saw it happen on an interview I just happened to watch with, what's his name? It's not Smooth, but it's Sway in the Mornings in Chicago. He's on, he's a DJ. Check him out. Sway in the Morning was interviewing him. And he asked him, he likes talking about the Joker. He loved being the Joker.
Because he is Mark Hamill's The Joker is the perfect Joker.
Did you all watch? Oh, that's what I was watching, Child's Play. Did you all watch that? Has anybody watched Child's Play other than me?
No.
Nope.
The remake.
I don't like children.
Bad. It's much darker than any of the Chucky movies, guys.
Even Child's Play 3, where the kid jumps on the grenade?
Dude, it is much bloodier than any of the Child's Play films.
Wow.
That I said, Joe, by the way, was no, I don't like children.
I keep dropping my phone, man.
I don't either. Like mine. Well, I love mine. I love
that's mine. No, that's it. That's what I've like. The more I have to do, and I see
he told me the other day, I finally got an I don't like you.
Oh, but it wasn't I hate you?
He said, I don't like you. I don't love you. He said, I don't love you the other day.
Oh, well, right now you're in the double.
Later, tell me you love me.
You're in the double A's right now. You'll get up to the triple A's where it's like, I don't want to talk to you. Now, when you get to the major leagues is when you get that first door slammed in your face. I hate you. Oh, do you? Well, I'm going to go out and eat. Good luck to you. I hope you find a job.
Yeah, the don't like you just kind of started. He did it to his mom maybe first. I got it second. Also, she's not got the I don't love you. I've got that.
Yeah, no,
but,
that's
he's a little bit of a daddy's boy. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The Child's Play remake is not bad. It's another one of those gentlemen where they get something kind of right, and then the last 20 minutes, like, fuck it, I forgot how we should end this. Well, we got to end it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like
a murder version.
Yeah.
I
was going to say Schindler's List.
Really hard on the ending of Murder Virgin. Yeah. Way to go. Way to be a downer, Spielberg. I guess he was trying to make himself feel better after his daughter. What? Did I say that out loud?
Ouch.
No. I'm not the one who chose to do porn.
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Google Spielberg's daughter porn.
Make sure you do it on a work computer.
Hold on, let me have my sixth drink.
Good thing about the COVID-19, none of you should be at work right now.
That's also the good thing about being fired, I guess.
Seriously, Google it later. Anyway, Child's Play remakes, not bad. Mark Hamill, you know the difference between Brad Dourif and Mark Hamill for that interpretation is Brad Dourif plays a classic villain, and Mark Hamill plays what somebody probably would sound like if they were a Child's Play doll. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
By the way, Brad Dourif's choice is more entertaining.
I know some people have said they really enjoyed the remake.
It's good. Stephen
By
King
the way, hold
recommended
on,
it,
time out.
and I thought,
Best Child's Play movie, go.
Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
I was
Boom.
going to say that Twilight Zone episode where the doll tries to kill him.
Shut up, James.
Which one? There's several.
The old one. The one that the Simpsons make fun of.
Is it the one with Telly Savalas?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is Telly Savalas.
Savalas is in that, yeah.
Yeah, because it's the one that the Simpsons actually.
Guys, if we ever get, hold on, Chad, this will make Chad's head bust. If we ever get time to actually do a 2-parter on Twilight Zone, that'd be great.
Didn't we already do that?
Fuck you, Chad.
No, we did a 6-parter on the Outer Limits. And
I've drank half this bottle,
on,
people. Look at
I
that.
drank a whole bottle of scotch one time with James Thomas, and I was up walking and talking.
Yep, that's a true story. But then he took up nun punching, and we were kicked out of that convent.
That slunt needed it.
Okay, I'm hitting the elevator going down to the basement.
Why were we in the convent?
Why were we at the convent? Well, we was trying to pick up some trim.
Nope. We got a mighty convent rocking through the... Oh, wait, no.
Turns out Chad is really into... All right, I'll stop.
What?
Who?
Yep.
Is Chad's really into not trimming?
So can we talk about time tracks?
No.
Damn it.
We should do the Outer Limits, though. I need to go back. I have all the series. I need to go back and watch the original series. We should do a whole episode of the Outer Limits.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
You know, the...
Hell, I just drank my bottle of basil.
For an episode without a topic, we've jumped around a lot. Let's keep doing that, because what do we have to lose? My son asked me this out of the blue today, and I was like, that's actually a decent question. For the Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Not Bugs, Daffy,
any
of the main ones.
He was not as interested. He loves The Simpsons, though, Chad. Does that make you proud?
Yep.
Amelia loves The Simpsons.
My daughters love The Simpsons.
He'll watch 2 or 3 episodes in a row if you let him. You gotta turn it off.
But speaking of which, I'll get back to the question I was going to ask about Looney Tunes. My daughter and I both have sat down in the past 2 weeks, and within actually the past week, and we have marathoned the new DuckTales cartoon, where it has a linear story and it builds up, and you find out what happened to their mother and all that stuff.
I've only watched a few episodes.
If you watch them in order and you get the full story arc, because spoiler, they eventually find out what happened to their mother and all this stuff. It's that, and it has just enough stupid throwaways. Like there's if you watch the original DuckTales, Chad, you might remember they had the time travel tub, gyro gear loose. There is a scene in an episode we watched today. It's in the 2nd season, and in the background, you see Gyro Gearloose sitting in a tub like this, shaking, and it never explains why he's there. They're back in time. It's a flashback, and at the end of the episode, they're getting ready to wrap everything up. Classic Disney ending. Blah blah blah. Set up the next episode since it tells an arcing story. And at the last second before it fades to black, Gyro Gearloose just appears in the tub and screams, "What day is it?" And I couldn't stop laughing because it was a stupid throw. Amelia didn't even see him in the background. So I'm enjoying it because it's a lot of fun. Now, going back to my Looney Tunes question, my son asked me.
Yeah.
He didn't word it like this, but outside of the main
Joe's wearing his hat backwards.
He's basically
just now noticing my hair is getting long, gentlemen.
I know. So is your beard.
Yeah, he was talking about how big my bush was before we started recording. That's a mighty bush.
My son
Too
wanted
bad
to
my
know,
penis is small and it covers it up.
My son wanted to know.
Joe's got the Amazon rainforest in his pants.
Why is Chad covering his face?
The sad part is, Chad. The sad part is, Chad. It's also burning.
And it's also in danger of clear cutting. It's really fucked up. And it also has the cure for cancer hidden in it.
It also has 46 undiscovered species. 46
undiscovered. You think anybody out there just went, "Oh my God, Medicine Man! What a fantastic movie!"
No, that's actually a movie that when it came out, a lot of people talked about it, and nobody mentioned Sean Connery and Medicine Man now.
Yeah, because the movie's awful.
It's not, is it? I saw it in the
I
theater.
don't remember it being awful.
It's directed by John.
Hold on, Craig. If by chance you happen to hear that, it's no League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but I don't.
It's no Green Knight.
Oh no, the Green Knight.
The Green Knight is terrible. I will cut you.
The Green Knight would have to stand
somewhere.
The
Green Knight, is it streaming somewhere? I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I just remember him pissing and then Sean Connery cutting off his head or whatnot and making his body come pick up his head.
I don't know if it's streaming
anywhere.
Green
Knight would have to stand on a chair just to kiss Zardoz's butt. I don't care what you say. Now, that being said, my son's question was, outside of the main Disney characters, which, Sylvester, Bugs, Yosemite, who's your favorite non-consistently seen Looney Tunes character?
Oh, I got a great one.
I do too.
So my favorite Looney Tunes short. Looney Tunes short is the one with Tweety but the cats instead of Sylvester.
Yeah, it's
shit.
Oh my
Sylvester.
God. That was the best Sylvester.
No.
That was the best Sylvester impersonation he's ever done.
Yeah, but no, my favorite one of my favorite Looney Tunes episodes is not with Sylvester. God damn it, Sylvester.
Hercules.
It's the one with Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
I love that episode.
Yep, with the replacement cat, where you're like, why didn't they just use Sylvester? No.
Yeah, but it's not Sylvester. It's God. Why can't I say Sylvester? I dropped my phone again. It's the one James is doing the Nutty Professor. Hercules. James, Joe, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. What was yours?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, I agree. Foghorn never. I mean, most people think Foghorn, but if you look at all the Foghorn Leghorn, there's not too many.
I don't like Foghorn Leghorn.
What? How do you not like him?
You have to listen to what he mutters.
What is wrong with you?
It's kind of like the old Popeye cartoons. You have to listen to what he mutters in the background because sometimes it's so terribly wrong.
I don't know. The fact that he would just – I never found it funny that he would paddle the Basset Hound's butt. I never found it funny.
Well, it's not that. It's the shit he says, dude.
No, Marvin the Martian was my favorite Looney Tunes character.
Marvin the Martian's cool, but
this is actually
your hat, man, is stupid.
You're stupid. By the way, for you people,
that's how we should record every episode. No,
what's next to my Kermit clock back here, Chad?
I know.
Marvin the Martian.
Do you remember?
Because he's amazing.
Do you remember when we went and saw Harlan Ellison?
There should have been an earth-shattering kaboom, James.
Do you remember when we went and saw Harlan Ellison? He told the story that he didn't believe in God, but he believed in Marvin the Martian because Marvin seemed like he was more believable.
No, but I remember him not believing in God.
By the way, mine, I realized, and he's only in 3 episodes, but A. Flea, A is the abbreviation of his first name, just because of the Food Around the Corner song got stuck in my head when I was a kid, and my mom would even sing it. Have you never seen any of the ones that have a flea in them?
I have. I didn't realize there was only 3. You know who's a stupendous, has just a vast knowledge of those, I can't talk. I'm so sorry. Who has a vast knowledge of that is Joe Dante.
Oh, yeah.
Well, who won't do our show either.
By the way, speaking of which, and I actually tweeted about this, you asked if I'd seen any movies lately. I did. The kids, the Easter Bunny, broke into my house and left my children a couple movies. One of which was the new Jumanji movie, which we'd already seen in theaters. Which was
I have not seen it. I didn't care for the other one. It was okay.
Well, it's this one has Danny DeVito and Danny Glover in it.
Yeah,
so it's okay. But they got Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. And I know a lot of people said, "Did we need another Doolittle film?" And I would.
You know what? Speaking of Doolittle,
here you go.
Time Tracks.
Oh my God!
When he goes back in time, they give him the jacket of Doolittle, the guy who led the Doolittle raid on the Japanese. And I'm just like, why would they give him the jacket of a World War II veteran? I don't know what I'm getting at. James, go ahead.
Anyway, Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. My entire thing about that is it feels more literary than the Rex Harrison one, because the Rex Harrison was more or less a musical.
Yeah.
And it's definitely more literary than the
Rex Harrison's an asshole.
So did you actually watch it? I heard it was awful.
You know what? Is it a creaky movie? And by that I mean, can you tell it's based on a book that is over 100 years old? Yes. Did they try to update it some with jokes that Chad would enjoy, i.e. fart jokes? Yes. Does it include on screen the only example of dragon flatulence I've ever seen? Yes. All that's true.
Wait,
Joe.
there's a dragon in Doolittle?
There's an entire subplot about it, Chad. There's at one point where the Michael Shannon plays the guy that is his rival, and he goes, "Oh, look at his theories on animals that could exist, dragons," and he throws it over his shoulder. And then later on, guess what Michael Shannon meets? It's a dragon. Anyway. Is all of that predictable? Yes. Does that movie still somehow have more heart than I've ever seen Dr. Dolittle with displayed on screen? Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not great. Don't see it. But much like you said, Joe, I went in expecting a 2, and it was like, well, at least it's got Robert Downey Jr. But it actually it tries to instill a little bit of heart into the character. It follows the book a lot closer. He doesn't like people. It's not Rex Harrison where, I'll take this boy on an adventure. He intentionally tries to leave that kid behind because he hates people. That's why he likes animals. He hates people. He got hurt by people before, and he doesn't want to deal with it. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. That being said, as I texted you all about it, I just don't know why Nick Cage turned down the role in that.
I don't either, because he doesn't turn down anything.
No, that's what I mean. Like, he had to be filming Color Out of Space or Mandy or something.
USS Indianapolis.
Because I don't know.
Got bit in the ass by a shark.
Well, don't we all?
The flip side of that, a shark ate me, Chad. Ted Jackson.
Did he get bit in the ass by a shark? I've never actually watched USS Indianapolis.
I didn't either. It's one of the holes in my Nick Cage repertoire. But
I'm not going to watch it, guys.
No, neither am I. James, drink your Equate.
Doolittle is.
I'm not. Cheers.
You probably should take it easy. Don't you have to get up and raise your kids in the morning?
He's letting the streets raise him now.
Oh,
listen,
that's smart.
Yeah.
God, The Wire was so depressing.
But no. So I don't have much to review, Joe. I've seen Doolittle, and what was the other movie they got? They got Jumanji, Doolittle, and there was a third movie, and I'm blanking on what it was. But it was something. But what was it? I don't remember.
Jack and Jill?
No.
God.
No, that movie was given to Dave.
Jill. That's one of the best burns Dave Newhart ever did. That's me going off about my somewhat non-admiration of Adam Sandler, and him going, I bet he's got more money than you. I was like, well, yeah, I can't argue with that.
No, I'll be honest.
How can you hate Adam Sandler after the marvelous acting that was Little Nicky?
Now, I did watch. Did you guys watch? I don't particularly care for Little Nicky. I did watch Uncut Diamonds.
You mean Uncut Gems, you drunk bastard?
Yeah, I did watch Uncut Gems. Did anybody watch it?
No, is it on Netflix yet?
No, I went and rented it. It's fantastic.
It's supposed to be on Netflix.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
It's not a great. It's a good movie. I don't know that it should have won Best Picture or anything like that. Or Green Book. I watched Green Book and I enjoyed the hell out of that. Although
it's just completely all BS.
It's a buddy movie. It's a buddy road movie. But yeah, Uncut Gems is a lot of fun. It is slightly draining, Chad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can be. It's over 2 hours. So, but it's you get into it. The only issue is with a lot of those movies with the flawed characters, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. And you guys know this. Your dads, you have to make a mortgage payment. It's like, what's wrong with you, asshole? Take the money and stay at the house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you really need to hit it another 100? Yeah, that's my problem. Sorry, didn't mean to.
I haven't watched a lot of things. I finished Picard now. And you talked about Nicholas Meyer. I would say Nicholas Meyer for writing Probably joining him now is Michael Chabon, who wrote Wonder Boys and all that, and wrote for Picard.
Wonder Boys is a fantastic movie.
And he does. I mean, a lot of people don't like the way Picard turned out because they were like, well, that's not, the character shouldn't behave that way. And I'm enjoying the living daylights out of. I think I'm beginning to see where Star Wars fans come from. The people that are like, I hate all the new movies, and other people that are like, some of them are good, and I'm now that there's new Star Trek on the air in the age of social media, I'm seeing it because it was like, oh, you all have seen the previews. You know, 7 of 9 pops up in Picard. And it's like, well, why doesn't she mention that she was once interested in Chakotay? And people are mad about that. And I was like, and somebody finally just posted online going, hey guys, that was 20 years ago. Let's say you moved to an entirely new state. Would you, within 10 minutes of meeting new people, go, hey, let me tell you about this person I went on a date with 20 years ago. Let me walk you through this process. No, you wouldn't do that. Also, they're in scenes where they're getting shot at. You're not going to stop and go, let me tell you about my ex-boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Now I know what all the Star Wars fans have felt that I've only had to experience marginally, because I'm like, I like Star Wars. I'm a big fan. But I don't, it's not like, oh, okay, you can have your opinion, I can have mine. And I still feel that way about Star Trek. It's not like somebody was like, oh, Picard sucks. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll stop watching. No. But I actually like kind of what they've done with it and the direction they set up with. And I like it because, no spoilers given, Picard's much more fascinating now than he was before to me.
Well, he's an interesting character, but the problem is with that, well, both of those series, that Deep Space Nine kind of got away from it because they were on the edge of the galaxy dealing with a-holes, which makes it automatically more interesting. But with the new Next Generation and Voyager, they had to be perfect.
Well, and I think that there was even at one point, which I think I look back on, I'm like, that would have been interesting, though challenging. At one point when they were getting ready to do Voyager as a series, they talked about having the ship show damage over time. So they would redo the intro season after season, and you'd see more damage on the ship. You would see as they've had to patchwork it.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it, and the reason they didn't do it was Rick Berman said, God, that's depressing. And
tough.
And so I think that's one of the things. But speaking of this, and Chad, you can chime in on how Time Track fans feel. One of the things that I've started to realize is
he had a button fly.
Yep. See,
I wanted some of those jeans when I was a kid. I never got them.
No.
Why would you want a button fly? It takes so much effort.
It just there was something about me wanting those and not being a kid from Eastern Kentucky and never getting them. My parents were never, especially my mom, was never going to pay for them. So I don't know.
Well, and it's you had that you wanted, and I wanted friends that loved me, and we neither one
of us got what we wanted. That's true.
I wanted that life-saving elixir that would save my my other sister.
I never got Soundwave.
We tried to buy you Soundwave once, and then we realized how expensive the fucking thing.
You bastard! I really want Soundwave.
Well, you can want one hand and shit in the other one, as my father used to say to me.
When he would say, "I'm hungry."
I'm hungry. Well,
I want food.
Yeah.
Drink Metamucil and shut the hell up.
Right.
It's bulk forming. It'll keep you going for a while. Anyway, I've started to realize
it's been like an hour and a half.
I've started to realize, and this may be where we can wrap it up. I've started to realize.
Can we talk about Time Track some more?
No.
Anytime somebody says.
So I've been watching the Mighty Ducks.
Now the animated show, where the
animated show.
Oh God, I was hoping he'd go no. now look what I've done. No, I was gonna say what I've realized about all fandoms.
It has Tim Curry, man.
It does. Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever you're into, Supernatural. The second the words "my fandom" come out of your mouth, I'm gonna start trusting you less. Like, oh, those are my shows. No, they're not. No. You can watch them. But if your name's not on the written by or directed by,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Is like, well, that's not my Star Trek, dude. None of them were yours. If your last name ain't Roddenberry, and even then,
yeah. I mean, people just take so much ownership. It's beautiful and
terrifying
awful at the same time.
Yeah, it's and that's my entire thing. Is it's like, oh, that ruined Star Trek, and I'm. Speaking of quoting other people, I've started to hit my Stephen King level about that. No, you only like the original series? Did they come to your house and take them off your shelf?
They are still there.
Nope. Well, then they didn't ruin anything for you. You don't have to watch it.
And the good thing about Star Trek is that it's still, they didn't go back and update it and remove the older versions. You can buy any version you want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you may have a hard time streaming it. I think the only thing you can stream are
they do tend to only stream the. By the way, did anybody see?
But those look. That's my own personal opinion. Is that that's not a huge, but I get why people understand.
Did anybody see that you can go back and watch the new Twilight Zone with Jordan Peele, and there's an option on CBS All Access now to make it black and white so it blends with the original ones?
No.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it doesn't do anything. All they do is make it black and white. But you can go back and watch them in black and white if you want it to feel more like the original ones. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, that doesn't matter to me.
I need to watch. Is it worth my time?
The Twilight Zone? Well, now, Joe, according to some people online, it's a little liberal.
Yeah, right. Have you ever seen what's the Christmas one? What's it called? It's I don't know. There's a ton.
Oh no, dude! It's my entire thing actually about what
real Martians still stand. I mean, all of them are liberal as hell.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It's the same thing about Star Trek. Everybody, especially the second season of Discovery. When did it become so liberal? I can't believe they're giving all these anti-war messages. I'm like, did you people ever see the original?
Yeah. That's the same thing.
Let that be your last battlefield as an episode where they basically say war is terrible.
You know what I can't find streaming in regards to the Twilight Zone? Is the Dennis Hopper episode where he talks to Hitler.
Oh, that's a good episode.
Yeah, it is, but it's not streaming.
That's not on all the Twilight Zones?
Not that
CBS
I can
All
find.
Access should have it. They have. They do.
I don't have CBS All Access.
Well,
you
that
rich
sounds
bastard.
like a personal problem. I have it.
Rich bastard. Aren't we all still employed?
Yep.
There we go.
My head's hidden by a microphone.
That's good.
Not two turntables though.
Let's just go ahead and forward this to his immediate supervisor.
Oh, please don't do that.
You've never looked better, Chad.
Never looked better.
No, I think that's the thing that's getting to me is every show. It's got to be liberal or conservative. I'm like, no, I mean, because that's the other thing. I think that a lot of shows also make great points that lean more conservative. And I think even the new Twilight Zone does it. But there's tons of people that, if you just read the online reviews, it's like, oh, it's totally liberal.
What is Joe doing right now?
I think, Chad, and I'm leaning back.
Maybe
so it's
finishing off a bag of these rye chips.
No, that's what he wants you to believe. But I'm leaning back, so I didn't get a clear shot. But if I was going to 12 Angry Men this, that was a bag of cocaine. And he just snorted her on down. That's pretty impressive, by the way.
George C. Cott's going to send you to the chair.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, because I think what it is those episodes specifically, like the white and black episode. What are those? The one with Frank Gorshin. What's it called?
Oh, Time Enough at Last.
Batman.
Not Time Enough at Last. That's the one with.
Oh, are you talking about the one where he's against the police state, basically?
No, where the one Frank Gorshin is, where he's got white and black on each face. And
you're talking about the original series. Let that be your last battlefield.
Let that be your last battlefield. That's one. And I'm sorry. Twilight Zone has a couple of them about racism, and I think if you watch it now out of context, you're like, oh, well, yeah, racism's bad. Well, fuck me, 35% of America anyway. But for the majority of Americans, racism is probably bad. Yeah, it doesn't affect them the same way because they don't have the context of this is liberal as hell when it came out.
Oh yeah.
It was progressive. And I'm not saying I'm pro-progressive. I'm obviously a progressive liberal person, but you're not in the context of the time of the late 50s. This is before civil rights.
Well, and I think there's some episodes. There's an episode.
That hadn't happened.
I hope you all do eventually watch it because there's an episode of the new Twilight Zone that has Greg Kinnear. And I want somebody else to watch it just so I can talk about it because I'm like, I don't know if it's a great episode or an interesting episode because I have so many mixed feelings about it, but it made me think. But the other episode that I really love, actually the first episode I really liked after it was over. I didn't know, I kind of guessed where it was going to go. I kind of guessed a little bit of the ending, but it's basically about a comedian, and every time he tells a joke about somebody, he's a failed comedian, but if he basically meets Tracy Morgan, plays kind of this character that they think who was a great comedian, and every time you have a conversation with him, he goes, "I can make you kill," because they all think they can get advice from him, and basically you end up making a deal with him, and then but every time you tell a joke, if you name somebody, they disappear.
Yeah.
And to me, it did feel like the original Twilight Zone. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's liberal. It's about how if you trash somebody in the media." And I'm like, that just seems like good advice. Don't run your mouth. Don't.
Wasn't that a SpongeBob SquarePants episode where he kept trashing Sandy the squirrel?
I wouldn't know, Jack, because I'm a grown man. I don't watch that childish two-dimensional bullshit.
Whatever you say.
Sorry, that was a shout-out to a friend of ours.
Listen, Chad, if it ain't SpongeBob the Musical, Joe doesn't consider it canon.
If it ain't got David Hasselhoff introducing SpongeBob. What?
Oh, I have been watching Andrew Lloyd Webber, just FYI, is streaming his musicals on YouTube. It's a free one every weekend. My daughter loves Phantom of the Opera, so I watched that 4 times last weekend.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, the serial killer?
Yeah, Chad. Andrew Lloyd Webber, the serial killer, also made musicals.
Awesome.
I didn't
That's
know he was a
great.
serial killer.
What?
You learn something new every day. I didn't know he was a serial killer.
No. And he's knighted. Actually, he's not only knighted, he has he's a baron. Like the queen gave him a peerage is what it's called. He actually is considered high enough esteem that it's not only that he's knighted, he is considered a peerage now, and he can use the term baron, I believe.
Does that mean he can raise taxes?
If I was him, I would. You'll have to pay a 10% extra fee to see this in the stage.
I agree. And with that, gentlemen, we probably should start wrapping it up.
You're
Wrapping
drunk.
it. The rappening is a little less known part about the Bible where Jesus spits some mad skills.
So do you guys have anything else to add before we go? Anything you recommend? I know everybody's out there. Hopefully this doesn't suck too bad. It's kind of an experiment. We're probably going to release it whether it sucks or not. No offense, cause content.
If you need something to read in this time of the COVID and you can't go out and you want to remember a time when America was different, I recommend Hobie Baker, An American Legend. This was the cornerstone of amateur sports. Hobie Baker played for Princeton. He is the only person to ever be in the College Hall of Fame for both hockey and football. And he would have been for baseball, but actually Princeton said, no, you can only play 2 varsity sports. So he had to step down.
So he was the original Mighty Duck.
Pretty much. He was the All-American and everything. He went on, after that was over, he went on to fly planes in World War I against a certain Red Baron.
Ooh, he hated pizza?
And F. Scott Fitzgerald based a lot of his characters on Hobie Baker. Hobie Baker, at the end of World War I, realized some people theorize he realized he didn't have anything to go home to because he couldn't play sports anymore, and the war was over. So right before he was supposed to ship out, he got into a plane to check if the engine worked, and it crashed, and he died. But very interesting story about an American legend. Hobie Baker. If you got nothing else out of this episode, you've now learned about the first sports icon.
In all fairness, you're saying this at the end of the episode. Nobody's lasted this long.
No, I know, but this way I get a tax write-off. See, I got this book to teach for my summer class, and now I can say I've referred to it, so I get it. I get a discount.
And
it looks like Bradley Cooper letting out a fart.
No, that's actually this is a true story. He wouldn't wear a football helmet, so they called him the Blonde Adonis because he believed a football helmet would interfere with how he played. And he never got a concussion. He gave him, but he never got one.
All right, I don't have
what I'm saying is helmets are for wusses. All right, I'm done.
Can we talk about how awesome Blank Man is?
No.
Time Trex rules.
My one recommendation other than Time Trex and Blank Man is that Better Call Saul is not better than Breaking Bad, but I'm telling you, it is getting so damn good, and it's almost better. It's a different show. It's the same world than Breaking Bad, and it is fantastic. I watched the season finale the other day. It's the one show
Don't you dare tell me.
I won't, but it's the one show that within 48 hours I will do my best to watch it.
Hey,
after it's
Chad.
premiered. Do you know what I'm talking about?
James.
Chad, I'm going to have to spoil it for you. At some point,
He's going to break
I call
bad.
Saul.
You
They
don't
call
even
him
know.
Chad.
'Cause you haven't watched any of it. You don't even know.
They call him Chad. It's going to happen.
You don't even know that Saul Goodman isn't even. You don't even know.
No, it's not his real name. I know that much. I learned that from Sneaky Pete.
Did they talk
Look
about
it up.
Did they talk about Saul and Sneaky Pete?
I mean, not directly. Look it up.
I'm telling you, it is a fantastic show, guys. It's a Chad. What do you think? Have you watched this last season?
No, I haven't watched any. I watched the first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul. That's all I've ever watched.
That's all you've ever. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm waiting till it ends, and then I'm going to just marathon.
I don't know
it.
how many more seasons they're going to do because we're getting.
This is the last season of Better Call Saul.
The next season will be.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Nope.
The lady, I know, sorry that I don't know her name, but who plays his interest, Kim Wexler. She never gets nominated for anything she should. She is, I don't know if she's the cornerstone, but she's damn close. Her and Jonathan, blah, 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 who plays, are the cornerstones of the show. She's fantastic.
I will watch it.
She's amazing. It's almost.
After I finish Time Tracks.
Chad, Time Track sucks. Better Call Saul is really good entertainment.
What if they cross over, Chad?
You know what? Better Call Saul will suck after season 2.
Yeah. You know why? Because season 2 sucks.
Yep.
It was a real letdown. All right, then, guys. Well, thank you all so much for our pointless episode. I don't know what we'll call it, but it'll probably
How is that different than any of our other episodes?
Oh, what a douche. Anyway, thank you all so much. Next, are we releasing this week?
Yeah, let's release it. Let's release this Kraken now.
Next weekend, we have a fantastic episode that's going to be so much better than this one because it's with the director, the editor of Scream, the director of My Bloody Valentine, and James, what's one of your favorite movies?
Drive Angry.
Yeah.
Casablanca.
Again, as I said during the interview, Drive Angry, to me, it's the start of Nicolas Cage where he veered toward horror in a major way.
In his renaissance.
Goodness, he did.
For some people. Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, Mandy is epic. I enjoyed a great deal.
Mandy is a singular vision. That guy has a vision.
And I enjoyed a lot of it. Didn't quite hit Mandy levels for me, and that's not dissing it.
No.
Color Out of Space.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's really good. By the way, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick.
Richard
Stanley. He said that he wants to do a trilogy set in Lovecraft. There's scenes in that movie that just nothing. Like there's scenes in Mandy where like the burning scene I got frazzled when they burn her in the thing. I didn't get there, but Richard Stanley got me to the edge several times of just said, I don't know. Don't know.
So not to change the subject. Patrick Lussier is going to be on the show next week. He's a huge gift for Bonehead.
Well, and I was about to say, and by the way, this conversation that I was having, I had with him. So preview of what we're going to
and he does tell some fantastic stories about throughout. And oh my God, if you're a fan of Cursed and how Cursed, the movie Cursed was, it wasn't even in my questions. Check it out. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all of our interviews, but and I was going to say, don't you all feel like we were friendly by the time it was?
Yeah, done? Well, and I was going to say, and I told him
and drank. Chad, are you asleep?
I told him
I'm sort of awake.
I told him actually that if he needed to tell you how well this interview goes, and you'll see it when you see the episode. But it ends with me saying, "Listen, if you need to sell them on the idea of doing The Accountant as a series, and they just say we need one fat guy from Kentucky to sign on and say we want it, that give me a call because I will lovingly do that." So and I tell him in the interview as well that he's worked with 3 of my favorite icons: Christopher Walken, Nick Cage, and Christina Ricci. So watch that interview. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so check out Patrick Lussier. This has been Bonehead Weekly. Chad needs to take a nap, so I'm going to let him go ahead and sleep this off.
Oh, you're so kind.
You're welcome.
I
Fuck
think he
you.
should sleep.
And we're going to talk about how amazing Blank Man is.
I think.
And with the,
by the way,
can I log off? People.
Robin Givens should have won an
real
Oscar.
quick, I want to say this on air. I want to say this before you stop recording. Listen, Mr. Wayans, if you're watching this, it would mean the world to Chad if you would just do an episode. And we won't ask you anything but Blank Man questions.
I just want a Blank Man movie poster, man.
You never asked for it.
Well, he just did.
I shouldn't have to.
Yeah, you should. You should. Sometimes I look, I give presents and go, oh, by the way, you have a giant cock above your head.
You are not the first person to make that joke this week.
I didn't notice till later.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders?
My eyes aren't usually attracted to cock.
No, it's his hands. It's his hands.
And my mouth. So,
that was just too much, sir.
Bonehead Weekly out.
Ah.